to the Risky Business Podcast. I am your host, Russell Rockport, and this is the very sultry, the sexy, the wonderful, my co-host and business partner, Rowan Darkthorn. What's up, sunshine?
Hey, Rock. Not much. What's up with you today?
I am absolutely jacked to the rafters because we are going to be covering a topic today that I am extremely passionate about, and that is
Sexual harassment. Yes, I'm quite passionate about it myself.
This is one of those categories that you really can't define.
Well, every time you define it, they change the definition.
Absolutely. It is one of the biggest struggles in the world right now to actually zero it in and figure out exactly what it is, and we are going to cover that.
It means something different to everyone, actually. There are people who absolutely cannot stand any sort of hint at any sort of impropriety, any sort of naughty talk. And it doesn't matter if it's in the workplace, at the grocery store, it doesn't matter where they are. They just can't tolerate it. Then there are those that are in the middle that they're like, maybe in some situations it'd be okay. In other situations, not so much, and then there's the people that are my tribe, which, or it doesn't matter. I don't care. You can get naughty. You can say any off-color thing to me you like, and I will roll with it because I think it's hilarious. It doesn't bother me. As a female, I have been all my life, subject to sexual harassment by the technical definition. And it has never really bothered me, but I never really thought about it in that way that a lot of people have taken offense to it now. But I think women are now taking more of a lead because guys have taken a step back. A lot of guys have taken a step back. They're like, oh my gosh, no matter what I say, this is going to come out wrong. I'm just going to stand back and not say anything. And so it leaves it up to the women to kind of push that envelope a little further and give the guy the green light. Otherwise, he could be getting handcuffs instead.
Yeah, and there's a fourth category that you didn't cover. And
What's
the
that?
fourth category is the category of people. And I'm not just going to point my finger at women, people in general, though it is mostly women on this category. And this makes me not even want to associate with you in any way, shape, or form if you're in this category. And that is, you can say whatever you want to say to me if you're totally hot. But if you're not, don't even say hi to me.
No, that does work both ways. That works both ways.
It does. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. It does work both ways, and I've seen it. Let me put it this way. If it's in the workplace, what the heck is wrong with this category? This is not good, because some guys listening to you hear the dirtiest talk he's ever heard in his life from somebody else on the work floor, and then he goes up and just kind of winks at her, and he's got a sexual harassment charge. And I've seen that that's actually happened to me, to be straight with you. So it's a sensitive topic on my end.
This does not surprise me because you are an animal. It doesn't surprise me. I know what kind of a beast you are. Let me break out my good Demi Moore voice. I know what a beast you are. Such a beast.
That concludes this episode of the Risky Business.
Why are we concluding the episode? This is just getting interesting.
I will touch on this because this is completely true, because that when I was working in the workplace, I was a very professional. I was very, don't even go there. You and I actually met working together. And we actually were a team at where we worked, and helped each other out. We were in totally different departments, but we helped each other out. You helped me more than I helped you because of the type of business that I was in within the company. And you will disagree with this, but you opened the door and you made a comment to me that went, okay, I understand her. It's okay. She's fine. Still to this day, I think about the comments that I had made and the stuff that we had talked about at the workplace. And I went, oh man, that was so dumb. But across
That's
the
true. But
board,
you have to know your audience. You have to know your audience. But I don't think anymore. I don't think it's safe at all in the workplace. However, if you've been doing this for so long and you've talked this way for so long, male or female, it doesn't really matter. If this is just your personality, it is so hard to change something like that if you've been doing it forever. And it seems like the definition of harassment changes daily. It's depends on which way the wind blows. And
it's
so,
so
like,
crazy because there's not, you're right, there is not, here is the book on it, and we're staying firm with it.
right, exactly. So, like, it ruins careers. Like, what's that guy's name? Louis C.K. Okay, so this triggered me. I'm not gonna lie, this triggered me a little bit because he invited women back to his hotel room and while they were there, first of all, if a woman is going back to his hotel room, she knows what she's getting into. Okay? If she's
Agreed.
going back there, she knows what she's getting into. Second, he asked, you watch me masturbate. Okay or no. Those are the two answers. No, I gotta go. Sorry, this is not my thing. Or hell yeah, let's go. But instead of just getting up and leaving and saying, no, this is not my thing, and I put myself in this situation, they blame him and ruin his career because he wanted to do that. He didn't touch them. He didn't force anything on them. He said, do you want to watch me masturbate? And, apparently they acquiesced because they stayed. They didn't leave, but then filed sexual harassment charges against him, which I think is utter bullshit. You know what you're getting into when you go into the hotel room. You're invited up to a hotel. You're not invited up there to play pinochle. You're being invited up there to get busy, to bang one out.
How much of that do you think was maybe a money grab? How much of that do you think these women are in this situation? They got out of that room and went, you know what? We're getting paid.
Oh, hell yeah. And this may infuriate some women, and I don't care. This is nothing against my tribe. We have been forever the victims of sexual harassment, but there are some things that really just don't qualify, and that's one of them. Now, like the Harvey Weinstein thing, where he was actually forcing them to have sex with him or he would ruin their career. He was actually in a position to ruin careers. Now that is sexual harassment.
Oh, that's more than sexual harassment.
Yes, I mean that's rape basically. But there is a line, and now the line itself is pretty clear, but people like to dance all over it. So
It's one of those things that every guy that I talk to, and I had one not too long ago in the workplace, sitting there saying to me, "Hey, did you see the new girl? Do you see how hot she is?" And
yeah,
let's give me a name, Rowan. Give me a name, any male name.
Jeff.
Jeff. So I said, "Yeah, Jeff, not really something we should be talking about right now." "No, but check her out. We're on the floor." "Yeah, but check her out. She is so hot. God damn, look at that ass." "Hey, Jeff, we probably need to take a break. Let's go have lunch somewhere." "No, I just want to talk. Have you seen her?" I'm done. And I walked away from him. I called him up on the phone afterward and said, "You ever put me in that position again, I will turn you in for sexual harassment," because he put me in a situation to where I could have lost my job because he was such a dumbass to talk about something like that on the job. You just don't
Right.
do it.
No, you don't.
It's different over a phone call. It's different if I'm like in my car and he's at his apartment and we're having this conversation over the phone where no one's listening. But right in the floor, anybody at this point in time in life, anybody that overheard that conversation could have turned him in. It could have been a girl that doesn't get any attention, and it made her feel bad because she's not getting attention, and she overheard it, and it offended her, so she turned us in. Regardless,
I've seen that happen.
he was putting us both in a compromising position to where we both could lose our job. And I strongly recommend guys everywhere, if you have a buddy that's doing that at work, especially where anyone else can hear, you need to lay the smack down on him and say, we will not be friends anymore, and I will turn you in if you did it, because him making those statements like that could have got me fired.
Oh, easily, and most likely without prejudice. I mean, you have been let go without much to do. It would have been like, we're going
Yes,
to just terminate him and done. Yeah, especially the company
because
you
they
work
don't
for.
want the backlash. They don't
No,
want it.
no,
And
no, not at
social
all.
media is fueling this big time, because companies that, especially big companies like the one I work for, are really focused on their squeaky clean image,
Hmm.
and they're really focused on making sure that stays tacked. So there is no tolerance. That's why it's gotten so bad, is the tolerance for anything that can be perceived as sexual content at the work in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I mean, and it's also it's not just work; it's anywhere. People can just get online. You know, people being harassed online, people being harassed at the grocery store. You know, wherever, at a bar. You know, men aren't usually the one victims of sexual harassment, although it happens. It happens. It, it doesn't happen as often as it happens with women, but it can happen anywhere, not just at work.
My question to you, Rowan, is this,
Yeah.
and you might not have the answer to this, but why is it so difficult to just walk away and get out of that uncomfortable situation? I mean, you mentioned the online stuff. I have people that I talk to online or text or chat, and when they start talking about something I'm not interested in hearing, I'll see you. Talk to you later. You have a good day. How come that is so hard for people?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm that way. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. You know, I don't have any more interest in talking to you. Some people just don't have that kind of, I guess, wherewithal, strength or whatever, in order to be able to just say, I'm sorry, I can't deal with this anymore. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of criticism, ridicule, whatever, for not being able to handle the situation or take the situation or whatever. And so they're worried about, backlash. If they do walk away, someone talking about them behind their back, they would rather stay in the situation and try and deal with it and become offended. And just, it turns into a big thing. And it really shouldn't. People just live and let live, namaste, motherfuckers, and, not harass everybody, not harass each other. It is not, it's not just sexual harassment. It's how do you start a relationship with someone that you want to get to know in this kind of climate? It's harder, it's more difficult now to get that dialogue started when you don't know if what you say is going to be a trigger for something else. So how do you change that? How do you change that?
Well, what I think we have to do is we have to change the culture. And it's not going to get fixed unless we do change the culture. And right now, it's just too easy to go to HR and let them deal with it. And we've made
Yeah.
that such a simple thing to where instead of, you know, I'm not comfortable with what you're saying to me and it being done. And then if he says it again, go to HR. But you don't
Right.
even have to make that first step anymore. You can just go to your manager or your boss or and people don't want to be confrontational. But it is so much more confrontational by not just saying, I'm not comfortable. I can't even imagine people in this world hearing I'm not comfortable and continue to be an asshole. If they are, then they deserve to be fired. They deserve to be fired anyways. If you're doing this, if you don't know this culture way it's going on right now, then you're an absolute fool.
However, I don't agree with just ruining somebody's life just to ruin somebody's life because they say one thing that offends you. You know, get put on your big girl panties or big boy panties or whatever, and just say, I'm sorry, that's kind of offensive to me. I'd rather you didn't talk to me like that, or didn't say that kind of thing. Don't talk like that around me. Instead of going and purposely ruining somebody's life because you can. That is where people have such a disconnect with each other anymore, that it's not even real. It's not even real. People don't think it's real anymore, because everything is online, and oh, this person did this and this person did that. In 99% of the shit you read or hear on Facebook or whatever, it's not real. It's not real life. People are making themselves out to be what they're not. And then they empower those people to just go out and ruin somebody's life. If they feel like, well, I've been offended, so now I'm triggered. Now I'm going to say something about it. And then, boof, they're gone. Their job is gone. Their children are hungry. Whatever, they lose their apartment, their house. They have to find another job. How are you going to find another job with a sexual harassment suit hanging over your head? You're
not going to find a quality job.
No. And I mean, why would you deliberately ruin someone's life as opposed to just walking away? And now I'm sure I'm infuriating some females. I don't care. It's not, if you're infuriated, maybe you're part of the problem, Maybe that is part of the reason that we have this issue now, is because you don't say, look, this is making me uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about it. Change the subject, or I'm going to walk away, or just walk away, And now the only caveat I would add to that is if it is a person in power over you. As a female.
Oh, totally.
As a female, with someone who is in power over me would do something like that, that's a totally different story. And I would 1000% ruin that motherfucker's life.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing. If they have the power over you and they use that power in that way, they don't have any respect for their authority and power. None.
Exactly.
So they don't deserve it.
Exactly.
And I am going to take it a step further too, Rowan, when we were talking about that one topic. You also need to put on your big girl and big boy pants. And if somebody tells you that you offended them, you're the one that made the first offense. So
Yes.
Don't be offended that that person said that to you. Grow the fuck up. Put on your big boy pants. Put on your big girl pants. Move past it and learn from your mistake. You do not want to get...
Say, oh, I'm sorry. Right.
Yes, exactly. You do not want to get into a knockdown, drag-out fight with somebody that you offended, because you will lose.
Yeah, don't get into a pissing contest.
Grow up.
That's not going to work, because I guarantee you that if it's at work, then the corporate, the HR is going to be on the offended party's side, not on the offender. So that's just how it is nowadays. But
and women, you're not getting away with it if you're the offender.
Oh no,
trust me.
No.
This is changing. We have a story that I am trying to work out the details to be allowed to tell on this show. And when I get the permission to tell this story on this show, it's going to blow your mind. But it's 2 women, and the 2 women are both fired. And I will leave it at that. So there is some stuff that I'm trying to get some details worked out to talk about this. But women, you're not innocent anymore.
No, well, we never were, but we were also always under the radar because it wasn't a thing. And now it's a thing, and now guys are like, "Hey, she's doing it too." So, well, we learn from the best, But if a guy has power over me, and he is sexually harassing me, saying lewd things to me or whatever, and I am not receptive to it, then yeah, I would definitely. However, I'm not going to lie. There have been a couple of times that's happened that I have used that shit to my advantage, and gotten what I wanted out of it. And it wasn't sex. It was more money or whatever, because I fucking blackmailed the son of a bitch. But you want to play on my court. We play by my rules. That's how that works.
And I happen to know one time in particular, maybe there was multiple times where you were actually the sexual harasser, and I never went to HR. I kept it between the two of us. I stayed my ground. I used it to my advantage, and I blackmailed you. And that's why you're doing this podcast. It's part of me not turning you in.
That's it.
But I'm not going to mention any names on that.
You caught me. That's why I'm chained to this podcast now. Physically, I'm handcuffed to it. I have to be here. Oh my gosh. I thought I was so much more slick than that.
We want to hear you. We want to know what you think about this. This here is a topic that I honestly think can grow some serious legs, and I seriously think that a lot of people want to discuss this. This is a huge topic, and it is current today. Big time. Please, you now have a platform. You can create a fake name for yourself. Email us. We don't care. Send us some emails and let's see what you, as the listeners of this podcast, the riskybusinesspodcast.com, you can go on there. Rowan will give you all the details because no longer do you have to go Rowan at riskybusinesspodcast.com or Rock at riskybusinesspodcast.com to send us emails. There's an easier way, isn't there, Rowan?
That's right. You can just go to riskybusinesspodcast.com, hit the contact button, and fill out our email form, and there you go. You can also hit us up on Discord right from the website.
We have multiple ways that you can listen to this podcast if you go to riskybusinesspodcast.com. We have many platforms that you can listen to it. So please check us out there. Please send us some emails. Let us know how you feel. This is a topic that I'm absolutely passionate about. I'm sure that you can hear it in both of our voices. We're very passionate about this. And please let us know. I am The Rock. This is Rowan.
And you've been listening to Risky Business Podcast. We'll see you between the sheets.
Stay naughty.
Don't be left out. Hit that subscribe, that follow, that like, ring the bell, whatever it takes to join us in the dark.
And you can come sit by me. I have all the cookies.